Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, my respected brothers and sisters in Islam. Welcome once again to Radiance of Islam. Today we tread upon sacred ground, discussing a matter of immense consequence, a divine reality established by Allah al-Aziz, al-Hakim, the Almighty, the All-Wise. We explore a principle sometimes colloquially termed the law of return, but more accurately understood as the manifestation of divine justice and retribution, al-Jazai, min jins al-amal, reward punishment according to the type of deed. Our specific focus is the terrifying severity, the devastating impact, described metaphorically in our title as cruel, that this divine law unleashes upon those who audaciously direct their enmity, their attacks against individuals whom Allah Himself has chosen, favored, protected, and designated as His awliya, His close friends and allies. Who are these chosen ones? At the pinnacle, unreachably, stand the noble prophets and messengers of Allah, peace and blessings be upon them all, whose sanctity is absolute. However, the circle of Allah's special protection extends significantly further. It encompasses the awliya Allah, those souls who have attained a station of nearness to Him through sincere faith and dedicated piety. These are the righteous, salihin, the truthful, siddiqin, the devout worshippers, the callers to Allah's path, the defenders of His deen, individuals whose lives revolve around Him. This is not a topic for casual discourse or lighthearted consideration. It stands as one of the most severe warnings within the framework of our deen, derived directly from the explicit verses of the Holy Quran and the authentic traditions, Sunnah, of our beloved Prophet Muhammad. Peace and blessings be upon him. It speaks volumes about the inviolable honor Allah bestows upon His devoted servants and the catastrophic peril faced by any who dare to transgress against them. In our detailed discussion today, we will meticulously examine the various forms these attacks can take, clarify the identity of those encompassed by Allah's protection, explore the mechanisms through which divine justice operates in response, and understand precisely why the consequences for the aggressors are often so swift, severe, and life-altering, both in this fleeting world, dunya, and in the eternal hereafter, akhirah. Let us embark on this exploration with hearts full of humility, seeking profound understanding and Allah's refuge from ever falling into such egregious errors ourselves. Now let us dissect what constitutes an attack or enmity against these friends of Allah. The scope is far broader than mere physical assault, encompassing a range of verbal, emotional, and social aggressions designed to harm, discredit, or obstruct them. Oppression, zulm, in all forms. This is perhaps the most blatant form. It includes inflicting physical harm, unlawful imprisonment, torture, seizing property unjustly, denying rights, imposing undue hardship, or leveraging power to persecute them specifically because of their adherence to Islam or their efforts to uphold it. The Prophet, peace be upon him, warned starkly, "Beware of oppression, for oppression will be darknesses on the day of resurrection." Al-Bukhari, Muslim. When zulm targets those beloved to Allah, its darkness is intensified manifold. Slander, buhtan, and backbiting, ghiba. This involves assassinating their character. Buhtan is fabricating outright lies about them, accusing them falsely of wrongdoing or hypocrisy. Ghiba is mentioning something true but negative about them behind their back that they would dislike being mentioned. Allah's analogy in Surah Al-Hujurat 49:12, comparing backbiting to eating the flesh of one's dead brother, highlights its abhorrence. When directed at pious individuals aiming to tarnish their reputation built on righteousness, the sin is compounded. In our digital age, this takes terrifying new forms. Spreading rumors like wildfire via social media, creating malicious memes, distorting video clips out of context, fabricating evidence, or participating in vicious online cancel culture. Campaigns against those perceived as too committed to traditional Islamic values. The speed, reach, and permanence of digital slander magnify the sin immensely. Mockery, ridicule, and derision, sukriya, istihza, making fun of their appearance, e.g., beard, hijab, their mannerisms, their attempts to follow the sunnah meticulously, their efforts in da'wah, calling to Islam, or their practice of enjoining good, amr bil maruf, and forbidding evil, nahi anil munkar. This often stems from arrogance, kibrar, or a deep-seated resentment towards piety itself. Allah explicitly forbids this. O you who have believed, let not a people ridicule another people, perhaps they may be better than them. Nor taint yourselves, nor insult one another by nicknames. Wretched is the name of disobedience after one's faith. Surah Al-Hujurat 49:11. Mocking the righteous is mocking the path they represent. Malicious envy, hasad, leading to harmful actions. Hasad is not merely wishing for a similar blessing, but hating the blessing Allah has bestowed upon another and wishing for its removal from them. When this envy is directed toward the blessings granted to the awliya, such as knowledge, wisdom, piety, love, and acceptance among people, success in their righteous endeavors, it often festers into destructive actions. The envious person may plot against them, spread slander, try to sabotage their work, or incite others against them. The Prophet, PBUH, warned, "Beware of envy, hasad, for verily envy consumes good deeds just as fire consumes wood or grass." Sunan Abi Dawud. Hasad is a poison that primarily harms the envier, but its outward actions against the envied incur severe divine displeasure. Spreading doubts, shubuhat, and falsehoods, intentionally casting suspicion on the sincerity of their faith or intentions, accusing the intention is forbidden, questioning the soundness of their knowledge or methodology without basis, or deliberately spreading misinformation to discredit their efforts and turn sincere seekers away from the benefit they provide. This is a treacherous attack aimed at undermining trust within the community, actively obstructing their righteous efforts, going beyond mere disagreement and actively working to hinder or shut down their legitimate activities undertaken for the sake of Allah, such as teaching circles, charitable projects, establishing Islamic institutions, or speaking truth to power, driven by personal grudges, competing agendas, or outright malice towards the deen itself. Harboring and displaying enmity and hatred, adawa ba bugd, developing a deep-seated animosity or hatred towards them, not due to any personal wrong they have committed against the aggressor, but simply because of their devotion to Allah, their adherence to the Sunnah, or their unwavering stance on Islamic principles. This is essentially showing enmity towards what Allah loves. All these actions constitute forms of warfare against the friends of Allah, transgressions that pierce the shield of their divine protection and invite the direct intervention of Al-Wakil, the trustee, Al-Wali, the protecting friend. And this reality leads us inexorably to the core of our discourse, the terrifying mechanism of divine justice and retribution. The consequences for directing enmity towards the awliya Allah are not abstract theological concepts or mere human interpretations of karma. They are explicitly articulated, severe divine warnings. The most potent and chilling of these is conveyed directly by Allah Himself in the revered Hadith Qudsi, narrated by Imam al-Bukhari. Allah the Almighty has said, "Men ada la waliyan faqad adhantuhu bil harb," meaning, whoever shows enmity to a wali, friend, ally of mine, then I have indeed declared war upon him. Sahih al-Bukhari. Pause and reflect deeply on these words. Allah, Rabbul Alameen, Lord of all worlds, Al-Aziz, the Almighty, Al-Jabbar, the Compeller, Al-Kahar, the Subduer, the one whose command is be and it is, declares war, harb, upon the individual creature who dares to show hostility towards his chosen friend. What does it entail when the creator of the cosmos declares war upon a speck of dust? It signifies absolute ruin, relentless pursuit by divine decree across all facets of life, exposure to calamities from sources seen and unseen, and punishments that defy human comprehension or defense. Imagine the combined forces of nature, circumstance, inner turmoil, spiritual deprivation, and the withdrawal of divine mercy, all directed against one individual by the command of the Creator Himself. It is a state of utter helplessness and impending doom, a confrontation one cannot possibly win. This isn't hyperbole. It implies tangible, devastating consequences orchestrated by the divine will. Why does Allah take such an uncompromising stance? Why is enmity towards a wali considered such a monumental offense? Because it represents far more than a personal dispute. It constitutes a direct challenge to Allah's wisdom and authority in choosing and loving that particular servant. It's like saying, "Oh Allah, you are wrong to favor this person." It is an act of staggering arrogance, kibrar, against Allah Himself, transgressing the limits He has set regarding His servants. It is often an attempt to extinguish the light of guidance and truth that Allah wishes to manifest through His righteous servants. It represents a flagrant violation of the sanctity and honor that Allah Himself has bestowed upon those who strive sincerely for His closeness. The Quran consistently reaffirms this principle of Allah's active defense of the believers. Inna Allaha yudafi'u anilladha na amanu. Meaning, indeed, Allah defends those who have believed. Surah Al-Hajj 22:38. This divine defense, difa, is not passive. It actively manifests in ways that often form the operational basis of the law of return, bringing severe repercussions upon the aggressor. Divine exposure, Fadiha. Allah al-Sattar, the concealer, may choose to lift His veil of concealment from the aggressor. Their hidden plots, their hypocrisy, their secret sins, their malicious intentions may be brought dramatically into the open, leading to their public disgrace and humiliation, destroying the very reputation they sought to protect by attacking others. Erosion and removal of blessings, Kankyal Naz al-Baraka. Allah may systematically strip away the baraka, divine blessing, increase, and goodness from every aspect of the aggressor's life. Their wealth, even if abundant, might feel insufficient, bring constant worry, or be lost suddenly. Their health may deteriorate with inexplicable ailments. Their family life might crumble into discord and strife. Their own projects and endeavors, regardless of effort, may consistently fail or yield no satisfying results. A pervasive sense of unease, anxiety, and lack of fulfillment takes root. Affliction with continuous trials and calamities. Musibat. They may find themselves besieged by a succession of hardships, debilitating illnesses, freak accidents, legal troubles, betrayals, persistent problems in their work or personal life that seem relentless and without clear earthly cause. This is a direct manifestation of the war Allah has declared, where avenues of ease are closed off. Hardening of the heart and prevention from repentance. Katmal Kalb, Yuristidraj. This is arguably the most terrifying consequence. Due to their persistence in transgression, arrogance, and refusal to heed warnings, Allah may seal the aggressor's heart, rendering them incapable of perceiving their own error, feeling genuine remorse, or turning back to Him in sincere repentance. Tawbah. They might even be granted more worldly success and apparent blessings, istidraj, making them think they are fine, while in reality they are being led gradually towards a sudden and devastating destruction. Allah warns, "So when they forgot that by which they had been reminded, we opened to them the doors of every good thing until, when they rejoiced in that which they were given, we seized them unexpectedly, and instantly they were in despair." Surah Al-An'am 6:44. They are blinded to their own doom. The swiftly answered dua of the oppressed, dua al-mazlum. The supplication of a person who has been wronged flies directly to Allah, unimpeded. The Prophet, PBUH, gave a stark warning to Mu'adh ibn Jabal. And beware of the supplication of the oppressed, mazlum, for indeed there is no veil, hijab, between it and Allah. Al-Bukhari, Muslim. When a sincere wali of Allah, unjustly attacked and harmed, raises their hands in heartfelt supplication to their Lord, invoking His justice against the oppressor, the divine response can be terrifyingly swift and precise. The return is delivered through the direct connection between the victim and the avenger. The boomerang effect, makar Allah. Often the very schemes and tactics employed by the aggressor rebound upon them with uncanny precision. The slander they initiated might become irrevocably attached to their own name. The traps they laid might ensnare them instead. The alliances they formed to attack might turn against them. Allah is the best of planners. Wa makaru wa makar Allah, wallahu khayrul makirin. Meaning, but they plan and Allah plans. and Allah is the best of planners. Surah Ali Imran 3:54. His plan always prevails, the ultimate reckoning in the hereafter, al-akhirah. Even if the aggressor seems to escape the full measure of retribution in this temporary dunya, perhaps as part of Allah's plan of imhal, giving respite, the absolute and inescapable justice awaits them in the akhirah. The torments reserved for those who willfully harmed the believers, oppressed the righteous, spread corruption, and showed enmity towards Allah's beloved friends are described in the Quran and Sunnah in terms that should make the skin crawl and the heart tremble. Zulm will manifest as tangible darknesses, and every transgression will be accounted for with meticulous precision by Al-Adl, the just, Al-Hakam, the judge. Consider the fate described for those who mock the believers in Surah Al-Mutaffifin, 83:29-36. A complete reversal where believers laugh from couches of honor while the perpetrators face the consequences. Now let us revisit the provocative word in the title, cruel. Why might this divine retribution appear cruel to a human observer? And how do we reconcile this perception with Allah's infinite mercy? The term cruel implies undue harshness or arbitrary infliction of suffering. However, from an Islamic theological perspective, the severity witnessed is the embodiment of perfect divine justice, or adl. It is not random or disproportionate. It is the precise and just recompense, jaza, for an extraordinarily grave offense, crossing a sacred boundary set by Allah, challenging His authority, and harming those He holds dear. The intensity of the consequence perfectly mirrors the intensity of the transgression, a manifestation of Allah's gaira, protective jealousy. Allah possesses a form of divine gaira, a protective jealousy concerning His own rights, His deen, and the honor of His devoted aliyah. Attacks against them provoke this righteous divine protection in an overwhelming manner. A powerful deterrent, zajr. The starkness of these warnings and witness consequences serves as a powerful deterrent, designed to instill profound fear and caution in the hearts of believers, preventing them from even contemplating such actions against their brethren. An upholding of the honor, izzah, of the righteous. It unequivocally demonstrates the high esteem and inviolable status Allah grants His friends, ensuring that showing enmity towards them is recognized as a matter of ultimate seriousness, not a trivial dispute. While Allah is Ar-Rahman, the most compassionate, Ar-Rahim, the most merciful, His attributes also include Al-Adl, the just, and Al-Muntaqim, the avenger. His vengeance is not driven by human emotion, but is the necessary implementation of perfect, impartial justice against those who persist in defiant transgression against His sacred boundaries, particularly the sanctity of His devoted servants. Therefore, the cruelty perceived lies in the impact and severity of the consequence on the aggressor, which is undeniably devastating. However, its source is rooted in perfect divine justice, wisdom, protection, and deterrence. Not in divine malice or caprice, it is the predictable, unavoidable outcome of declaring war on the Lord of the worlds by harming His allies. Given this profoundly sobering reality, what are the critical lessons, the urgent warnings, and the practical takeaways for every sincere Muslim striving to navigate this life safely and earn Allah's pleasure? Cultivate profound respect and good suspicion, husnad dan, towards believers. We must foster an attitude of deep respect, humility, and positive assumption towards fellow Muslims, especially those recognized for their knowledge, piety, consistency in worship, or dedicated service to Islam. Avoid jumping to conclusions, judging intentions, which only Allah knows, or readily accepting negative information about them. Remember the principle: the default assumption for a Muslim is innocence and sincerity until proven otherwise by clear evidence. You could unknowingly be harboring ill feelings towards someone deeply beloved to Allah. Exercise extreme vigilance. Over your tongue. The tongue, though small, commits enormous crimes. The Prophet, PBUH, explicitly warned Mu'adh ibn Jabal that most people are dragged into hellfire on their faces due to the harvests of their tongues. Tirmidhi, Hassan Sahih. Slander, backbiting, rumor-mongering, mockery, baseless accusations. These are dangerously easy traps, amplified exponentially by the speed and reach of modern communication. Before you speak, type, or share anything negative about another believer, apply stringent filters. Is it absolutely true? Is it beneficial to mention? Would the person concerned approve of it being said? Is my motive pure, free from envy, anger, or personal bias? Employ the principle of tabayyun, verification, commanded explicitly in Surah Al-Hujurat 49.6, before accepting or propagating any potentially harmful information. Recognize and combat envy, hasad. Within yourself, envy is a destructive spiritual disease. Honestly examine your heart. When you see Allah's blessings upon others, knowledge, piety, wealth, family, success, train yourself to immediately say, MashaAllah, la quwwata illa billah. What Allah wills has occurred. There is no power except in Allah. And make dua for barakah for them. Then ask Allah for His bounty from His vast treasures. Actively suppress feelings of resentment or wishing for their downfall. Remember, hasad primarily burns the envier and leads to actions that incur Allah's wrath, often being the root cause of attacks against the righteous. Prioritize your own spiritual rectification. Occupy yourself with your own faults, sins, and shortcomings. Focus intensely on strengthening your personal relationship with Allah, increasing your knowledge, improving your worship, purifying your heart, and performing good deeds. Engaging in constant criticism and scrutiny of others, especially those striving for piety, whose inner realities are hidden from you, is a dangerous diversion from the more urgent task of your own salvation. As the saying goes, he who preoccupies himself with the faults of others becomes blind to his own. Instill deep fear, khawf, of Allah's justice. Keep the terrifying hadith Qudsi about Allah, declaring war constantly in your mind's eye. Reflect deeply on the potential consequences, worldly and otherworldly. Let the genuine fear of Allah's power and His severe retribution act as an insurmountable barrier, preventing you from ever contemplating causing harm, distress, or injustice to any of His servants, particularly those close to Him. Never underestimate the power of the dua of the oppressed. Internalize the prophets, PBUH, warning about the dua of the Muslim having no veil between it and Allah. Be terrified of knowingly wronging someone to the point where they feel compelled to raise their hands against you in supplication to the Lord of Justice. Strive always to be just, fair, and merciful in your dealings. Hasten to seek forgiveness from both victim and Allah. If you realize through reflection or warning that you have indeed wronged a believer, through words, actions, or harboring ill will, do not delay. Overcome your pride and hasten to seek their personal forgiveness sincerely and humbly. Try to rectify the harm caused if possible. Only after making genuine efforts to gain the pardon of the person whose rights you violated should you turn to Allah seeking His forgiveness for the transgression against His command. Rights owed to people, hukuk al-ibad, are taken extremely seriously by Allah and generally require settlement with the person wronged. This is absolutely crucial for escaping the potential divine consequences. Beware of collective transgression and mob mentality. Be extremely cautious about joining group condemnations, online pile-ons, or campaigns targeting individuals, even if they seem righteous or are presented compellingly by others. Group dynamics often lower individual accountability and critical thinking, leading people to participate in collective zulm or slander they wouldn't commit alone. Always strive to verify information independently from reliable sources. Think critically, and fear Allah before lending your voice or support to potentially harmful collective actions against fellow Muslims. This comprehensive understanding is not intended to induce paranoia or paralyze interaction within the community. Rather, it aims to cultivate a profound level of adab, etiquette, taqwa, God consciousness, and cautious respect in our dealings, recognizing the unseen spiritual realities and hierarchies established by Allah, and understanding the immense danger of violating the sanctity He places upon His awliya. The law of return in this specific context serves as a stark, unwavering testament to Allah's fierce, protective love for those who dedicate their lives entirely to Him. My dear brothers and sisters in Islam, the message we have traversed today is undeniably severe, yet profoundly necessary for our spiritual well-being and safety. The law of return, the immutable principle of divine justice, operates with breathtaking and often devastating consequences for those misguided souls who choose the perilous path of attacking, slandering, oppressing, or displaying enmity toward the chosen servants of Allah, His cherished awliya. This is not speculation. It is a reality cemented in the unambiguous warnings of the Quran and the Sunnah, powerfully encapsulated in the terrifying Hadith Qudsi, where Allah, the Lord of Majesty and Honor, declares war upon such transgressors. The repercussions, potentially manifesting in this dunya, through the stripping of blessings, public exposure and disgrace, relentless calamities, the dreadful sealing of hearts against repentance, and the answered prayers of the oppressed, all culminating in severe and eternal punishment in the Akhirah, serve to underscore the monumental gravity of violating the sanctity of those enjoying Allah's special protection, wilaya. While the sheer impact of this retribution might appear cruel through a limited human lens, it is in reality the flawless enactment of perfect divine justice. Adil, a profound reflection of Allah's protective gairah for His beloved friends, and an essential, powerful deterrent for the entire believing community. Let this detailed exploration serve as an indelible reminder etched upon our hearts and minds. Let it instill within us an unwavering respect and profound humility towards our fellow believers, especially those known for striving diligently upon the path of righteousness. Let it make us hyper-vigilant guardians over our tongues and pens, weighing every word before utterance. Let it motivate us to wage jihad against the diseases of envy, malice, and arrogance within our own souls. Let us decisively turn our focus inward, towards our own spiritual struggles, seeking closeness to Allah and striving earnestly to be counted among His awliya, rather than wasting precious moments finding fault with others whose inner state is known only to Him. We seek refuge in Allah from ever causing harm, intentionally or unintentionally, to any of His beloved servants. Ya Allah, grant us the wisdom to recognize Your awliya and the humility to respect and honor them. Ya Allah, purify our hearts from envy, cleanse our tongues from slander, and protect our limbs from committing oppression. Ya Allah, make us among those whom You love, whom You protect, and whom You draw near, and save us from being among those who incur Your wrath, and upon whom You declare war. If we have ever wronged anyone, Ya Allah, grant us the strength and sincerity to seek their forgiveness, pardon our shortcomings, and forgive us out of Your infinite mercy. Allahumma Ameen. We sincerely pray that this grave and comprehensive reminder proves beneficial, serving as both a crucial warning and a catalyst for positive change in our interactions and intentions. If you found this discussion valuable and thought-provoking, we request you to like the video and, more importantly, share it widely within your circles. This knowledge pertains to the fundamental rights and protections within the Ummah, and sharing it could prevent great harm, inshallah. Please subscribe to Radiance of Islam and activate the notification bell for more deep dives into authentic Islamic teachings relevant to our lives. We invite you to share your reflections, insights, or related experiences with wisdom and discretion in the comments section below. What practical steps can we take to foster greater respect and caution? Are there specific du'as for protection from committing such errors? Let us engage in a constructive dialogue. Jazakum Allahu khairan kathira for your patience, your attention, and for engaging with this serious topic with open hearts and minds. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.